It's good morning and welcome to Sportsfan Radio's That's Racing. Once again, I'm by myself. The Gelding is still not back from holidays. I hope he's enjoying himself on the Sportsfan Radio Dollar in Phuket. I'll be welcoming him back next Saturday, though, so it'll be great to have somebody else to discuss racing with. But today, races are at Ballarat. No metropolitan meeting, just this provincial one, and 10-race card with the first race at 12:10 p.m, the last race at 5:40 p.m. Feature race is race 8, the Ballarat Cup, a listed race over 2,000 metres. The track's currently rated a good 4, but as we like to tell punters, warning, could be rain during the day, so that track rating might be downgraded. Prediction of up to 30 mils during the day, so it could be downgraded to a slow 5 or 6. So might be interesting to look for horses that have some wet track form. Rails in a true position for most of the circuit, but for the 400-metre post to the winning post, it's out 2 metres. Bit unusual, but let's see how that affects the pattern of racing. Anyway, Gelding's sent his tips in. In race 7, the Ballarat 3- and 4-year-old classic over 1,100 metres, he likes horse number 8, A Little Deep, coming out of barrier 9, lightly raced for 3 races for 2 wins and a placing. So a 66% win rate, 100% place rate. It's won over the distance, and it's won its last race over 1,000 metres at Maui last week. It's now carrying 2.5 kilos less, so that all goes to being a pointer that this horse may do very well in the race. Currently showing $2.70 and $1.45 fixed. I think it might drift out a little bit, so I wouldn't put money on just at the moment. I'd just wait to see what the starting price is. Ben Allen in the saddle, and he's currently in a terrific form with 22% win rate over his last 50, and trained by the Mar Eustace combination, and we all know how well they're training their horses at the moment. Second selection for the Gelding today is in race 8, the Ballarat Cup, the main race on the card, and he always likes to tip in the main race. It's a listed race over 2,000 metres, and in this one he likes horse number 8, his new Foxy horse, Foxy Cleopatra, coming out of barrier 12, had 6 races for only 1 win, but 4 placings, so been in the money 5 times out of 6, a very good rating, 17% win rate, 83% place rate. It ran second in the Group 3 Hong Kong Jockey Stakes at Flemington in November, beaten only 0.2 of a length. Then second in the listed Cranbourne Cup race 2 weeks ago. The Gelding thinks it can turn it around today. It beat Just Folk at Cranbourne, and that's one of the key contenders today. Craig Williams in the saddle, so Gelding texted me and said he hoped he doesn't get willowed, and so do we. And trained by the combination of Trent Basutin and Natalie Young, who are currently training at 10% win rate over the last 50. Currently showing the good odds of $5 and a $9.95 fix, and I'd probably take that because I think it'll start a lot shorter as we get closer to the time of the race. So the Gelding's selections in summary: race 7, horse 8, A Little Deep, and race 8, horse 8, Foxy Cleopatra. Now for my selections, I'm going a little bit earlier with my first selection in race 5, the Global Turf Handicap, a benchmark 84 over 2,000 metres. I like in this race horse number 8, Acceleration, coming out of barrier 3. It's had 15 starts for 4 wins and 7 placings, a bit of a stutter there, 27% win rate, 73% place rate. 5th its last start over 1,600 metres at Flemington in November, but it had 1 over the distance and 1 in the wet. So it's got good second up form. It's had 4 second up starts for 1 win and 2 placings. So it should be in the money today. It's currently showing $4 and $1.80 fixed. It'll start at about that rate, so you can either take that or wait to see if it starts a little bit longer as we get closer to race time. Declan Bates in the saddle, and he's riding currently at 10% win rate over his last 50. And Richard Cully, trainer we don't often talk about, home track trainer. He trains at Ballarat, and he's currently winning at 16% over his last 50 starts. But what I do like is 45% in the money every time the horse starts. So almost 1 in 2 chance. So I like that. Second selection is in race 10, the Haymarket Handicap, a benchmark 84 over 1,400 metres. I like in this one horse number 15, Ton of Grit, not ton of grit, ton of grit, coming out of barrier 2, 18 starts for 4 wins and 5 placings, 22% win rate, 50% place rate, 4th at its last start at Flemington last month over the same distance in a benchmark 90. So it's down in class today. It's been 4 races for 4 in the moneys. So it's good second up as well. 5 starts for 2 wins and a placing. It's also got wet track form, and I like that. Now, for punters today, this is probably my bet of the day, showing great each way odds. $10 currently showing fixed with $3.30 the place. Might start a little bit longer than that, so I'd probably wait to see how it looks at closer to starting time. So my 2 selections for today's racing at Ballarat: race 5, horse 8, acceleration; race 10, horse 15, ton of grit. And I've tried to go for some horses with some wet track form. The Professor's Parlay, a little bit unfortunate last week. Ain't No Done Deal was scratched, so that sank the parlay. Good news was that Ando Magic and Miami Dolphins both saluted. So we got 2 out of 3 there, which wasn't too bad. This week, the agreed bet of the day between the Gelding and I is race 7, horse 8, a little deep, currently showing $2.70 and $1.40. And we're going to parlay that into the NFL in both legs. The San Francisco 49ers playing at home to beat the Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco currently second in the NFC conference. They've won 9 of 12. They've got the second best defense in the NFL behind the Ravens, and that's only by 2 points. They only allow a measly 15.75 points per game, but score at the rate of 29.3. So with that 14-point difference, they've won more games than the Seahawks this year. The Seahawks in 9th place in the NFC. They've only won 6 games. They've only got a 50% record. They score 22 against 24.1. That's not going to get it done against these 49ers. The bookies don't like it all either. They've gone more than a converted touchdown and a field goal, 10.5 points. They're giving Seattle start. So I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers straight out at $1.14. Let's parlay that into the other bet of the day, the Miami Dolphins at home to beat the Tennessee Titans. The Miami Dolphins having a great season. They're top in the AFC conference. They've won 9 of 12. They've got the second best offense behind Dallas in the NFL. They score at 32 points per game, and that's going to win most games you start at in the NFL. The Titans are 14th in the AFC, a bit of a disappointing season. They've only won 4 games out of 12, and they only score at 17.7 points per game. So there's a almost 15-point difference in the offenses before we start. The bookies don't like it either. They've got it at 13.5 points on the line. So the parlay is race 7, horse 8 at Ballarat today, a little deep, parlayed into the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Seattle Seahawks, into the Miami Dolphins to beat the Tennessee Titans. The win parlay is currently showing 7-2. The place parlay currently showing 3-2. So great odds there. Tomorrow's Sportsfan Radio, the last one for the year, and we've got a special guest, Madeline Kelly, who's heading off in April next year to the World Cheerleading Championships, and I'm sure we're going to be interested in talking to her. Those championships being held at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. So, as I said, last Sportsfan Radio for the year tomorrow. Madeline Kelly, the guest, with all the usual suspects except the Gelding on board. We even got Dan Budley coming in from the United States. So it'd be great to talk to him again. Haven't seen him for a couple of months now. That's all for That's Racing today. I'll be back with the Gelding next week. So until next week, and That's Racing, it's good luck and good punting.